Hey, what's up guys? It's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the USS Des Moines. The Des Moines is the top tier cruiser of the American cruiser line. It is a heavy cruiser, which means that it gets 203mm guns, and it does get some pretty good armor, and armament for that matter as well. So I'm going to be going over the Des Moines and how I like to play it. I'm playing with my buddies Shinonome and 3FM in the Conqueror and Yamato, respectively. We are playing on, I believe this map is called Shards, I want to say. To be honest, I don't know. But we're playing on this map. Typically, the decision is, or maybe this is Sea of Fortune. Anyway, typically the decision is to go BC, but since we spawned over at A, we thought that we can push a lot of people around with the Conqueror Yamato and Des Moines combo at A, and since there are carriers in the game, most of the time they will be going after BC. Um, so we're gonna take a swing at A for this round. I normally don't recommend this, but again, we're gonna try it. Get spotted here. My carrier is gonna be spawning here in a second. He actually played this pretty well. He actually was able to find out that they were capping A, and now he's gonna go spot. So, and I managed to get a nice salvo off on him. In case you guys were wondering what I'm running in terms of Captain Perks and modules wise, I am running Main Arms Mod 1, AA Range Mod 2, Reload Mod, I think 3, Radar Duration, the special upgrade, Rudder Shift and Concealment. For my Captain Perks, I'm running Priority Targets, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent Concealment, AFT, Demolition Expert, and finally Expert Marksman. So pretty standard cruiser build, I must say so myself. The only peculiarity is that I am running reload. Some people like to run range, and that's fine. I actually find the reload to be more effective, at least in the way that I play the Des Moines. Now, certainly, situations like this would be very good for the range mod, because you could be sitting at 16, 17 kilometers away from these battleships and be hitting them right now. But again, I prefer not to. I don't think that that's where the bulk of your damage is coming from. But anyway, that's why I'm running the reload mod. It does require a little bit of more attention to detail in terms of your positioning. You can't do so much open water kiting, as you have to sit in a little bit closer to islands, or you just have to get in. You can get in open water brawls, but you just have to be very, very close to the enemy, within like 10, 11, even 12 kilometers, which can be somewhat risky at times, but it can also be very, very rewarding with a 4.3 second reload. And that's where I think that's where I like to be at, is in those very, very close ranges. So you saw there the enemy carrier was not paying attention to his fighters. We are going against AS Lexington, so I'm going to help my carrier out, popping my defensive fire, melting through all those planes pretty easily. It's pretty much a guaranteed at that point. Lexington T8 planes versus T10 AA, especially with defensive fire. Yeah, those planes are going to melt. Pop radar here on the Edinburgh. I get one Citadel. Unfortunately, I was not able to finish him. I do get the soul cap, which is kind of funny, but nice at the same time. I know I'm spotted, so I know the gearing's still around here, and of course it could also be the Yamato, but I do. No, it actually is the Yamato spotting me. Never mind. He's going to be playing with his rudder, so I'm just going to be trying to gauge his distance and speed, just basically how you normally would do in the Des Moines. So here I actually slow down, and that is because I actually see that this Hindenburg is actually coming out. If you look at the map, it's at G8. He's actually sailing out, so I have to be very careful of him. He can actually uh, do a lot of good damage to me, if not citadel me, if he is paying attention to me, much like this Yamato can. So I'm going to just open water kite here, and you can still do some open water kiting. You just have to be you have to get in close and then kite away. Uh, so that is the only thing you have to worry about. Thinking from the Yamato, not too bad. I get a double fire on him. He's most likely going to repair pretty soon here. Gearing torps were kind of expected. He was spotted relatively far away, 10 kilometers. And at the angle he was going, you could have kind of assumed that he was going to torpedo me. So at this point, the enemy team has B and C. We have A, and we've lost 3 ships to their 2. But I think we are actually in the better position tactically. If you look at it from this perspective, we have approximately probably about a 200-degree firing angle on them between the guys in sectors G. What is it? G7, G. Wait, no. What I'm saying, C8, C7, D7. Those guys are providing a good amount of fire on the guys in the far east, while we're pushing up right behind them into their spawn in the south. So again, very trying to distribute and make them have their guns being confused almost as to which direction they want to be shooting at, and that's what I'm doing here. Hindenburg shooting AP, it's always going to be a threat. Unfortunately for him, he aimed a little high, and I aimed just right under the front turrets, and I got a citadel there. I was fortunate enough there to get another citadel. Most likely I plunged through his deck at this range. In the Des Moines, I popped my defensive fire here for my buddy Shinonome. Unfortunately, it looks like he is going to be going down pretty soon here. The Conqueror heal cannot save him. And keep in mind, this was also before the patch too, so his repair party actually did come up sooner than what many would expect in this most recent patch. So trying to focus down this Hindenburg, but of course juicy DDs are always going to be a priority for me. I also somewhat expect my buddy in the Yamato to be finishing this Hindenburg. It looks like he's about to shoot at him pretty soon here. I've already got a fire on him. I'll shoot a couple more salvos just in case. Also staying angled to those BBs to my right until the last possible second, and then I switch over. And luckily I was not getting focused by the Yamato or Conqueror, so I was able to escape that battle somewhat unscathed. At this point, I wish I did have my radar enabled, or at least available to be used. It would be much nicer, but unfortunately that is not the case, so just gonna start burning this Henri down. Now 44 degrees, it is very possible for you to AP pen and citadel this Henri, knowing that the normalization angle is 22.5 degrees for the Des Moines, and that is one of the nice perks about the American cruiser line. They do get that better shell normalization, which is of course nice. And that's, I guess, another reason to be running reload mod, because you are able to hit more of your shells at those kind of weird angles, and you're able to get those citadels more often than you would be if you're at range. So just going to be melting this Z-23. Our Missouri was made a nice play by putting up his radar. He was somewhat low, and Z-23 kind of making a bad play in my opinion. If you see a Des Moines, and oof, yeah, Yamato hit me for a good 16k. If you see a Des Moines and a Missouri 5 kilometers from you in your smoke, and you're a destroyer of any type, uh, you better be watching out, because that's not a very good sign. Pop my heal. Yamato is sequentially firing. Let's see if that pays off. First rounds miss, and then I went undetected, so he could no longer target me, which is nice. So I'm going to try and get this cap and stay undetected until my next heal comes up, or as long as I can stay unspotted. So just gonna make this my second cap of the day, and here we go. We're gonna see some good AP usage here. One thing I do want to point out, it is somewhat difficult to get very consistent high damage rolls on broadside battleships. In the Des Moines, things like a Hindenburg in this situation could be doing 10k per salvo, but with the floaty arcs, sometimes it can get a little bit difficult. As you see there, I'm kind of failing to get those higher numbers like the 3400s, the 4300s, a lot of 500s and 1000. So it doesn't help that Montana is adjusting his speed, but just goes to show some of the downsides of the Des Moines. There aren't a lot, but that is certainly one of them. So you see here a few good salvos here and there, but otherwise somewhat inconsistent AP. I also don't know if it's due to the saturation of the Montana's superstructure / belt, and oh boy. Oh my gosh, 500 health. That was very close. I need to go unspotted here very, very quickly and stop shooting. Yeah, this is bad. I almost died there. I probably should have died there, to be honest. So shoot down that one plane that was spotting me, and I'm going unspotted. Now I'm going to be moving into the cap. Actually, to be honest with you guys, I did not see that gearing until he just now popped up with those torpedoes. So just one thing I would also recommend is you guys need to be looking at your minimap as much as possible. Between each salvo, I always hit the right mouse button and kind of look around. You can also take this time to look at the minimap as well. I decided to radar here because I know the gearing's here, he's low, and this should be the kill pretty soon here. Yep, CAP still works on destroyers, whether they're angled slightly or not. AP is still a decent option if you have it loaded in the Des Moines or heavy cruisers in that respect. So at this point, the only option here I have is to two options. I can either turn out on this Yamato or I can turn in. I want more damage, and I want this Yamato dead. So I'm going to actually turn in. I'm using those rocks very smartly here. I'm putting them between me and the Yamato's guns. You can see there he can't shoot me, but I can certainly shoot him. So that's what I'm doing here, and just basically aiming at his superstructure, popping my last heal of the game. Still keeping the AP loaded. You can see 22 degrees. I can still somewhat do damage. However, right here I'm trying for the citadels, that angled citadel. I'm only getting pens. I need to be basically a kilometer away, but I do manage to get him low enough so our team can finish him off. Conqueror's shells just straddled my ship, and after my last heal I've got 13,735 HP left to spare. And I'm spotted here briefly by a plane, but I'm not too worried about that. So at this point, I'm gonna go Cap C back. Our Chapayev's pretty low as well. Our Khabrovsk is, of course, the healthiest ship on our team. They still have a carrier. We don't. Our carrier looked like he got a little too aggressive in his positioning, and of course their Conqueror is at 2/3 health. I make scratch that a little bit closer to 3/4. So at this point, I've got 37 planes. That's nearly half of the that is actually over half of the Lexington's total strike force, or total plane capacity. You can see the top right on the like team leaderboard. There's not next to Lexington. There's 4, and then there's /72. 72 is how many planes he has. 4 is how many squadrons are under his control. So obviously, I do have a lot of plane kills here. Kind of wish that my AA was doing a little bit more. My defensive fire is down, so I have to be careful here. I don't expect too large of a hit. 2K is not too bad a fire I can put out. Since he is AS, I know there's no more planes coming. But I was a little bit surprised I only shot down this many planes. And I'll actually take a look at the... I believe I will take a look at the amount of DPS I still have on my AA guns, and you'll kind of see that it's kind of dwindled down to somewhat little. At this point, we've got 3 caps, and we have a bunch of point lead, a lot of points to our name. So right now we don't have to worry too much. I guess I didn't show it in the replay, but I did have somewhat a small amount of AA left. At this point, our Tupolev needs to go unspotted, but it does not look like he's going to do that. And our Khabarovsk, I think, is doing the right play here. Just kind of trying to tank as much as possible. The only other play here would be for him to actually just run away. But I'm going to do something else. Instead of sitting here and making you guys watch, I'm going to be shooting over this island. And this is another thing you have to pay attention to. Detection starts at the middle of your ship, so I can actually stick around this corner and not be detected, and still fire my front 2 guns, and I'm not detected because the detection, it calculates it from the center of your ship. So again, that Conqueror cannot see me as long as I keep the middle of my ship behind this rock. I can just peek my front 2 guns out this whole time and shoot him, pop my radar, but at this point the Conqueror is good enough for dead. There's no way he can outcap us. He would have to kill all of us. So with that being said, that's going to pretty much end the replay, and we end up winning. So GG to everyone here. Alright guys, so looking at the post-battle results screen, 643,000 credits, 10k XP, 6k free XP, always nice, working towards my maybe Musashi if that comes out as a freemium. So just getting some good amount of XP. Confederate Dreadnought high caliber, 214k damage, 284 shell hits, 47 planes shot down. Somehow I still did not get clear sky. Kind of beats me at this point. 3 ships killed, 8 fire set, 3 citadels, 1 solo base cap, 2 assisted base caps. So who said the Des Moines isn't the best DD around? I also completed a nice combat mission. I don't quite remember what it was, but in any case, we're going to look at the team score. 3498 base XP, which is one of the highest I've seen in a long time. Of course, our community replay that was unfortunately not featured, he did very well in that game as well, and you can see the plane XP kicking in right there, nearly doubling the next top, or the top XP earner on my team. As for 3FM and Shinonome, they didn't fare too well, somewhat at the bottom, but as I like to say, in order for me to carry my team, the other 2 people in my division have to do somewhat poorly. So thanks to you guys out there, 3FM and Shinonome, for letting me have this amazing replay. Detailed report, 60k from HE, 120k from AP, so a very AP focused Des Moines replay. and then half a Witherer, which is always nice. 1.1 million damage tanked, kind of a good replay of shooting behind islands, but also some angling and kiting away in the middle and the slash beginning. And some good use of terrain as well. You don't have to necessarily be sitting behind islands, but you have to position the islands between you and the majority of the enemy. So, good play, I think, on my part. And then damage received 73k. That's part of the reason why I got my Dreadnought. I didn't die sneaky, but anyway, with premium, walk away with 300 grand. T10 is always nice. 38k elite commander XP again is always nice. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay. If you did, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video.